Hey, real estate fans, it's Nova back with my Supernova real estate report, and I wanted to talk to you about what's going on in the market this week and this month that I've been seeing because there's some big trends popping up that we need some education about, right? There, let's start with this. There is, as everybody is aware, is this massive depression in inventory available for home buyers, right? And I've talked about this before that we haven't seen this level of inventory in ever, right? We have the lowest inventory consecutively for the past 10 years. Since 2011, 2012 is lower inventory than 2011. 2013 is lower than 2012, and so on and so forth, right? With that, we are seeing an average price of home sell over list for $220,000. So if you list your house for $700,000 because that's what it's worth, that's what the comps say it's worth, you're going to have buyers bringing you offers for up to towards $920,000. So as a buyer, that's daunting. That is overwhelming because your affordability, yes, we can afford a $700,000 house, but a $920,000 house, we can't even begin. That's a whole nother type of house altogether. I'm trying to get the mortgage calculator out here, which I should have had set up. You go from at $920,000. That's almost with a 20% down payment, that's a $4,000 a month mortgage payment compared to a $3,000 a month mortgage payment, which is still massive, right? $4,000 a month, that's $48,000 a year going to your mortgage. You're making $120,000 a year. You're bringing home $82,000. Your partner's making $120,000. It's your gross income for your home. Your net income is around $160,000, and $50,000 of that is going towards your mortgage, right? That's a third. But in actuality, we're seeing people having to get mortgage payments equal to 40 to 45% of their income for the household. So we are below that. That means the the net income from the house, right, is around $110,000. And we're having to, put your clients in a position where nothing can go wrong because they're going to paycheck at $120,000 a year because we have to now afford a $900,000 mortgage when we were budgeting for $700,000, right? And so, okay, what does that mean? It's like now we got to be looking at $500,000 houses. Where's that? How far now is that commute? What does that livelihood look like now? How far are we driving out to come in? How many hours a week is that adding to, my non-family life, all the other leisure time, downtime, sleeping, right? Because you're hustling to make it happen. And that's just like one example. But that $220,000 is much different from the median, where the median price over asking, the sold price over asking is $263,000. Where you can afford a $900,000 house, and now we're going to need to make offers for $1.2 million with no contingencies, no appraisal contingency. So even if it appraised for undervalue, which we aren't seeing, your house you have to pony up for that. That's a hard thing to do for a buyer. It's a hard trust to come forward with clients that are come to me and they're having a hard time believing until they see it, right? You're trying to just jack prices up so you can make more money. And I'm like, my career isn't worth one commission. I don't know what you're talking about. My job is to protect you. The seller's job is to sell you. I protect you from what you're being sold, right? That's my fiduciary. That's what I love. That's how I create that bond and trust and why I'm in your life, right? Because I'm going to do that. All my expertise and experience is designed for that. Sometimes I'm overprotective. Sorry about that. And I get a little too coachy and preachy, but we all have our positive quirks. But this makes this market highly competitive, highly stressful for you buyers and sellers, because you still have no place to move after you sell your house, right? And in order to sell your house, you have to have cash. So, my sellers too, they're getting HELOCs so they can get the cash out of their house to go buy another house, because nobody's going to take a contingent offer. It's not worth it, especially with closings being at 13 and 18 days. So you mortgage officers out there that are saying, oh, we need 30, 40 days to close, even 25 days to close, you literally are putting your buyers, your clients, in a position where they can't compete in the market. Because I'm seeing these conventional rates, these conventional loans close at 18 days, 15 days. I don't know what mortgage companies these are, but I would like your names. Please direct message me with your names, because it is important to have every avenue that you can get with the seller, or in with the seller and buyer, and you're as a buyer dialed in, especially even like with earnest money. Earnest money is being released at mutual. So these sellers are receiving 9, 10, 20, 15 offers on their house, right? And everybody is releasing earnest money. And that means if they choose your offer, you are releasing your deposit to that seller that day. And last year, years before, we were seeing sellers and buyers, release $25,000, $35,000, $45,000, $50,000 a seller upon taking the contract. And that's non-refundable money. You're just saying, I'm committing to $50,000 to you right now that I'm going to close this house. So if anything happens that you got to back out, you don't get that money back. It's gone. It's theirs. They're like, yay, payday, 50 grand, next contract, because there's 5, 10 other backup offers wanting that house as soon as you leave or something happens, which is horrible. And now they're going to make money again. Great for sellers, hard on buyers. But with that 50,000, that's not even going to do it today. We're writing $100,000 non-refundable earnest money checks to sellers. That's what we're having to do. It's a lot of money. So FHA buyer, 3.5% down, $760,000 house. Your down payment somewhere around 30 grand. You don't have 100 grand. You don't have 100 grand to put down as earnest money to compete with those other buyers. What are you going to do? Where are we going? And that means we're moving further and further out of the metro area. And when I'm talking about these checks, it's not inside Seattle. We're seeing this all over. Bothell, Woodinville, of course, Bellevue, Newcastle, Issaquah, Shoreline, Lake Forest Park, Edmonds, like North Seattle, like all the Linwood, like Mill Creek, of course, West Seattle, even with the bridge down, West Seattle is popping. It's Seattle's Venice Beach. People want to live in a cool little beach community that's in the city, and that's what it is. That's also what Edmonds is. That's why I call it my little Malibu. Freaking love it. The city is so wonderful. So it's just not some weird trend in some little pockets, in these wealthy neighborhoods or anything that's happening. This is in like every neighborhood you want to move into, because the buyers are like, where are the good schools? And there's like North Shore School District, Lake Washington School District, Bellevue School District, Shoreline School District, and this is where they're going to want to be. And we got to compete, right? So as buyers, it's like, hold on to your pants. We are going to have to write these offers that are extremely tight, right? And this is why it's so important that not only do you get pre-approved, that you have your mortgage broker get you underwriting approval on your loan. Because that means your whole loan goes through the underwriting process, or you go through the underwriting process, so they vet your income and your debts, and they go through everything that they could need letters of explanations for and stuff. So none of that will hang up your closing process at all. and you're going to get it done before you even make an offer. Yes, that process takes 7 to 14 days with your mortgage broker. Yes, your mortgage broker is going to push back on you because it means they got to do extra work. But this whole market is extra work. If you're not doing extra work, you're losing. Do extra work. We're seeing funny things too, writing in contingencies like, we'll pay for your Netflix subscription. Cases of wine, pool cleaning at your new house, anything to try to get that edge, because it's just like, here's money and now here's gifts. We want to live in a place that bad. And if that house too is clean, I can't even emphasize this enough as sellers. You just don't get to throw your house on the market. Yes, we're seeing that, and yes, those homes are competitive, but they're far less competitive, and you are letting a lot of money just go to waste by you not painting, doing some landscaping, cleaning the gutters, doing that deferred maintenance so you can walk through. So when buyers walk through that house, they don't see nuisances. Because nuisances cause unconscious irritations, and those unconscious irritations give lower offers. And for a few $1,000s of cleanup, if you can get rid of those nuisances, like one of my pet peeves is like when I open a home's door and there's 2 different keys for the front door. A lock set's $50, and you're selling a $900,000 asset, and you don't want to we should have all the keys that are unified in this house, because it will be less irritating for a buyer or an agent when they walk in. They're just like, oh, look how nice this is. And it just creates this easiness that is totally unconscious on their part, but it stimulates them feeling good about your house, whether they know it or not. It's just little quirks like that, right? Let's do it. Let's replace the carpet in those stained rooms, Just don't shampoo them, replace it, right? Go to Carpet Liquidators, get the stuff, get the padding, get it done. Because you want to squeeze every dime out of your house, and by you not doing those little bits of cleanups, because you're like, oh, this market's too hot, so I can be lazier. But that lazy will cost you tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $100,000, maybe 6 figures, right? Stop. Don't. Do the work. Do the work, get the money. Same with the buyers. Do the work, get the house, right? Take care of your money. Let's get things lined up. Be prepared to write aggressive offers that day. That's the other thing. There's offer review dates. House comes on the market on Thursday. We have an offer review date for Monday or Tuesday. But starting Thursday night, that seller's receiving offers. People aren't waiting anymore. I just had a seller say, Nova, I just had 9 offers in on my day 1 on this house. Are you guys going to be my 10th offer? Get on this house. And I was like, nope, not going to be that 10th offer, and the house was over 900. It was listed for 700. It was like close to 950,000 in offers already. And so we're going to be paying $1 million for this house. My clients don't want to do that. Not for a $700,000 house. It's like a regular house. And for $1 million, you need to feel like you're upgrading, right? Instead of just getting the baseline. Because, everybody has a split level home. It's already there. And to sell your split level at, for $700,000 to buy a new split level for $1 million, there's no upgrade. There's no, we moved up. We've worked so hard to be able to buy $1 million home, and yet we're moving into the exact same house. How does that work? It's the overpaying of property, the prices over market have breached. I don't even know how to describe this. Have gone from one level of house into the other, into an area of another level of house, which they didn't never commingle like this before, right? Even we're like other clients, we're looking at $1.5 million homes, and so we are prepared now to write offers for $1.8 million. That's a whole different house. A $1.5 million, $1.3 million house is not a $1.8 million. That's a whole nother house. But the buyer demand, even for the $1.8 million, is massive, and we're seeing that at $263,000 over asking. Commonly $350,000, $400,000 over asking are what these winning bids are walking away with these homes with. With cash, 13 to 18 day closings, right? You got to be able to compete. You got to be able to win. You got to have yourself, your house, your money, your movement locked in, right? And as usual, there are 3 rules in this real estate besides that location, and it is price, features, location. Pick 2. You got your pre-approval. That's 1. You know what you can afford. Now, you got to juggle pros and cons between features and location, right? Better location, lower features. Better features, different location. It's just trade-offs. It's what it's going to be. And I wish we could have that idealistic world where you get exactly what you want. And given all the money and time, you can. It's just, it doesn't work out for most people like that, right? We have to have trade-offs and compromises. Relationships, marriages, everything are with those same things, trade-offs and compromises. Even at work, that's life, that negotiation. But we will get there. You will get there. But you got to be prepared that houses right now are selling for $260,000 over asking price. That's it. It's Nova with my Supernova Real Estate Report, and I look forward to your feedback. Leave questions in the comment section, and I would love to address them in other videos. Thanks so much.